The Becoming. Begrudgingly, I trudged on, walking for what seemed like hours too many on this unsettling fall night. The wind, frigid and unforgiving, was forcing icy fingers to pinch my cheeks and causing my eyes to squint through a watery vision of the storm brewing ahead of me. Nameless and faceless clouds, dark and foreboding. Just a torturous revisiting of what my life had been since being unleashed violently from my mother's womb a half-century ago. With piss, shit, and blood and concerto with stifled screams of anguished pain. A new soul birthed in muffled secrecy, drenched with my irate mother's shame. So came I. Who am I? A collection of repeated lies and despicable familial ties. The son that they all denied. The black sheep. The scapegoat. The whipping boy. Desperately clawing to free myself from the angry hands around my throat, while spit splattered my red face as hateful words were shouted with venomous rage as I choked. Finding solace in being forever alone and pleasure from being the target of the stone's throw. Bruised for life, scars so deeply decorating my flesh with the artwork of demented brushes and poisoned paints. Steeling my resolve, I leaned into the wind and trudged forward with a knowing smile. My back and shoulders were aching with mutiny, and make it painfully known with a sharp burning in my tired muscles. Not dissimilar to what Jesus must have suffered through with that old rugged cross strapped upon his back. My burden, though, was an old duffel bag that I'd had since junior high school, filled to a point of overflowing, threatening to burst the aged stitches and spilling out suddenly for all to gaze upon in unbridled horror. All the regrets, all the mistakes, the self-hatred, the cruelty, the loveless life, and the sins that had made me, well, me. Violently, the bag began twisting and jerking, causing me to misstep and teeter to my left briefly. "Put us down," someone whined. "Let us out," demanded another voice, seeming to come from the bag. As always, I tried to ignore the voices. Demands were all that I answered to. Never so much as a thought given to my wants, my needs. Dogs were treated better than me. At least they got affection at the hands of their master. Everybody was my master. I had no loyalty to them, nor them to me. The only times that I was acknowledged were the instances that I'd served as the butt of a cruel joke, the pack mule for the lazy taskmasters, the fuel that fed jealous fires to draw attention from others' desires. Lies, lecherous liars. "Don't ignore us," a tender female voice whispered ever so slightly, like a siren song calling from the darkened past, the polluted oceans of my soul. Flashing lights blinding me as the feelings of love, passion, jealousy, destruction sent surges of electrical shocks all over my flesh. Suddenly, my left foot snagged on a fallen tree branch. Stumbling, I fell face down on the muddy and irritatingly cold path. The bag that I was carrying slammed into my back, knocking the wind from my lungs. I heard laughing and jeering coming from the bag.
"Hey, you pussy, fuck off."
"No fair," whined a voice that made me clench my jaw. "He never ignores you." Other voices joined the droning complaints. "He ignored me. But he purposely chose to ignore me," she calmly explained. "Therefore, He thought about me and ignored his path. Now, laying in pain and suffering, he's thinking about all of us, she said with a sly, knowing smile. And the other voices cheered and lavished embellished praises upon her.
Yeah, that's why we love it. That's why we love it.
Spitting mud and muck, I strained and struggled to free myself from the bag that was now impeding my attempt to rise to my feet. The voices, familiar but unidentifiable, began to pester me. Ha! Loser, just stay down. No reason to stand up. You'll just fall again.
Yeah, how many years have you been trying to get rid of us?
Taunting words that stung my pride. All of your miserable life, yelled a choir of the knowing. Pay them no mind, dear, she cooed gently. I know you can get up. Do it for me, love. I'm the one that has always been beside you, she said. Most of your miserable life, she giggled. Just kidding, baby. Fuck off, I growled as I got back on my feet. I'm not listening to you anymore. Struggling to hoist the bag upon my shoulder, weakened from the fall, my resolve wearing thin. The voices were right, I thought to myself. I am a loser. No, I mumbled, not this time. Heaving with a grunt, I began dragging the bag through the mud and stones, trying to ignore the increasing insults and lies. I began to hum and exclaim, I can't hear you, I can't hear you. Finally, I reached the clearing, a remote spot far away from anywhere that could remind me of who I was. As my shovel plunged into the soil, increasingly agitated voices cry out, What are you doing? What is that sound? Who do you think you are? They began asking worriedly. I slammed the shovel harder and harder, pretending that I was stabbing those fuckers in the chest, the throat, and the face. I'm getting rid of you. I'm putting you all in a hole so deep that you will never find me again, I said, panting. Faster and faster, the shovel thrust into the soil, repeatedly, violently. I saw all of their faces and pointing fingers, balled-up fists, laughing grins of wicked, lecherous, parasitic demons. I'm not yours anymore, I screamed with spit and sweat. I'm not yours anymore, I continued. You will never get rid of us, she said with worry. After all, we're part of who you are. I'm not yours anymore, I maniacally howled. She screamed, You need us. As I tossed the bag into the hole and began shoveling the dirt on top. You are nothing, nobody, miserable. The words muffled and faded away. Simultaneously, lightning cracked the sky, and a chorus of what sounded like angels joined the thunderous applause. I finally did it! I yelled at the sky. I buried my past! With a renewed pace and determination, I walked away from what I used to be, who I used to be, what I used to be. I can't even remember my name. Not that I even care to. So if you ever find yourself alone and unable to sleep, fearing those things around you that creep, just beg 3 times my name in a whisper and pray. Mr.NightMarinara will come beside you and lay. Alright. Thank you for listening, everybody. The Becoming, written by yours truly. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please share, please subscribe, please notify, please do everything that you can to make sure you and all your friends keep getting scared. Thank you.